On today's episode of Undercover Boss, the president and CEO of ABM Industries, a huge company that maintains and services office buildings and airports all over America, goes undercover. This boss will trade in his mansion and private tennis court for rolls of toilet paper and a mop. By working in the front lines, he'll discover what his employees really think about his company.
Because I like working with ABM. They took care of me, and when ABM called me, I said, that's my people.
And he'll also discover the unsung heroes that make his business run. And how will his workers react when they find out the truth about his identity?
How you doing? I mean, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Now you were joking around with me.
Oh my God.
Stay tuned to find out. Headquartered in New York, ABM Industries is America's #1 provider of building maintenance and facility services, including janitorial, parking, security, and engineering. At the head of this $3.6 billion company is President and CEO Heinrich Slipsiger.
I'm Heinrich Slipsiger. I'm President CEO of ABM Industries.
ATM stands for America Building and Maintenance, and it was started more than 100 years ago as a window cleaning company. Heinrich grew up in Denmark, and he was a very rebellious child and didn't agree with his father at anything. So when he left Denmark, he came to America when he was 17 years old, and he had nothing when he got there, so he worked his ass off and got the CEO position when he was only 33 years old. In their line of business, their success is solely dependent on the quality of people that they have, and the main reason he wants to go undercover is to be able to find good employees and create good opportunities so they stay with them for a long time. Because if they have more permanent employees that stay for long, the more success that they will have. Heinrich will be going undercover as Edward, an out-of-work immigrant from Holland coming to America to try to get into the service business. His employees will be told that they're judging his performance, which will help determine which job he gets. For his first job, he travels to Tampa, Florida to work as an airport shuttle driver, and he arrives at the job 4:30 in the morning to meet with Kenny, who gives him his uniform, and they pick up departing customers.
Today we'll focus on how we interface with customers and if our people are as customer focused and customer interested as I hope they are.
While together, Heinrich sees Kenny likes to follow the rules and also follow the company's guidelines, which makes him very happy. He also sees that Kenny is very diligent and serves the customers well. He asks him how long he's been working there, and Kenny answers that he joined the company 4 years ago.
How long have you been doing this?
I've been here almost 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He's also been working the early shift and going to school after, and he tells him that his goal is to become a firefighter one day. After learning from Kenny, Heinrich takes on the wheel next and does terribly, and he doesn't follow the rules.
I'm gonna tell you, you broke all the rules, man.
Why you break all the rules?
You're not moving fast enough. You gotta move faster.
And he was also too slow to take the customer's baggage, and he even accidentally cusses.
Going from...
You can't cuss, man. Everybody in the airport is hearing you. You cannot cuss.
Kenny is forced to take back control and tells Heinrich that he's not doing a good job, so he doesn't recommend someone like him for that job.
So, it's probably looking for somebody different.
All right.
Heinrich is a little disappointed, but knows that he isn't good enough for the job and is glad a person like Kenny is doing it. The next day he travels to Chicago, Illinois to work as a commercial window washer, and he meets up with Peter, and they get to the top of the building to set up the scaffolding, but Heinrich was incredibly scared of heights and he gets really nervous.
I have a fear of heights.
Then wash some windows later on.
It is my hope that I'm going to wash windows from the inside and not from the outside.
While setting up the scaffolding, Heinrich learns that Peter is also an immigrant from Poland, and he learns that Peter has a son who's disabled. His wife and him both work so they can provide treatment to their son, who needs to go to Europe for the treatment, and lately they've been struggling very hard to even pay the plane tickets, and they might just have to go back to Europe to save on that.
It's to Europe is like $1,700 to Europe and back. It's too much. It's, never-ending story.
They go back to work and start going up the scaffolding, and Heinrich was trying to keep his cool, but when the scaffolding moves, he gets extremely scared and starts shaking.
He was really shaking already. I could see his legs are shaking.
Peter notices this and brings down the scaffolding, and once again, Heinrich has failed to do his job. But his main concern is losing another great worker, and he plans to do something about it. For his next job, he travels to New York City to work in 7 World Trade Center, which is the first building to be rebuilt after the 9/11 attacks. He meets up with the janitor Maria, who gets him right into the job. They start by replacing toilet papers and cleaning windows, and they clean up the dishes in the bathrooms. As they clean out the windows, they see buildings getting rebuilt after the 9/11 attacks, and she tells them that she lost her nephew that day, who was working for ABM at the time.
I lost my nephew there. He was 27.
That's just not right.
Every time I look at this grind site, you always think,
The World Trade Center was the largest job site for ABM, and they lost 17 employees and more were injured at the day of the attack. For his last job, he is asked to see an employee who was actually a survivor of the attack, and he meets up with freight elevator operator Larry, who takes him into the elevator and teaches him how to operate it. He learns that Larry has been working for the company for 26 years, and he grew from the bottom but stopped when he got a stroke, which prevented him from working more intensive jobs.
Why was it you stopped being foreman? Was that
Because I had a stroke. And
Right.
I'm the type,
Really? I can see that.
I'm the type of guy who wants to do the job all the way.
Larry also recounts the day when the attack happened and says that he just got in from cleaning the sidewalk, and after the plane hit, he says that there were people jumping out of the building because there was no way out and they didn't want to stay inside because it was better than being burnt alive.
Let me tell you something. Right then and there, people was jumping,
Oh my God.
but there was no way out of there.
And finally, Heinrich's undercover time has now come to an end. He's met great employees, but is in the risk of losing them, and he plans to do something about it. And so he invites his employees to his office to reveal his true identity.
Henrik Slipsager, I'm president and CEO of ABM Industries.
First in was Maria, and he tells her that she worked his ass off and that he was impressed by her work ethic. He offers her a promotion and tells her that ABM is going to donate $25,000 to a 9/11 fund in the name of her nephew.
could never in a million years expected this, that it's going to happen to me today. I had the greatest experience of my life. I could really break down and cry like a baby.
Next in was Larry, and he tells him that he was inspired to gather the survivors for a reunion who are now dispersed working in other locations. He then offers him a fully paid vacation for him and his family.
So here's what I'd like to do for you. I would like to send you guys on a little trip of your choosing.
After that, it was Kenny's turn, and he tells him that he loved the way he worked and followed the rules, and he then tells him that he wants him to stay at ABM, so he offers him a management training so Kenny could get a better paying job, and he also offers to pay his tuition in full for his school.
It's surprised, shocked, everything all in one. You know, everything just.
Last in was Peter, and he tells him that he was happy to see how safety conscious he was, and offers him a position in the company's safety council, and then offers to send him and his family to Europe to fully pay for his son's treatment.
I would like to send you and your family on an all expenses paid trip for a month for your son to go through this intensive therapy treatment.
Sometime later, he invites his employees to share his time undercover and thanks his employees for their hard work. In the weeks since, Maria is enjoying her promotion and her new uniform, Larry and his wife are going to Hawaii for their anniversary, Kenny is changing his major to business and moves up further within IBM, and lastly, Peter's son is able to get the treatment that he needs. And that is it for today's episode of Undercover Boss.